up of my fat butt. Realize at this moment I do not have anything with water in it. Because why would I be prepared for a live stream I do every fucking night? Right? Anyway, if you're new to my channel, I do live streams. And they're very boring. But that's okay, because you still do them anyway. Found something to put water in. A little sticky, but that's okay. I'm going to be back in about 30 seconds. Give or take my mental health. Got 2 mason jars upstairs for water, but today we're using the old ice cream bowl. Quality material from me, as always. Anyway, yes, welcome to the live stream. Today I'll be working on this cat picture, along with probably this right here. That guy. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can finish him up, and whatever else I can find. Yes, running out of time. I should be fucking sewing, but I am not. I'm bullshitting everything else. I need to make some noses. I'm not going to get you finished tonight in that case, but we're going to start with some noses and work our way from there. Alright, what to listen to? Whew. Not interested in that anymore. Let's see what Markiplier's up to. Crank is still putting out shit titles. There we go.
Luscious caramel milk chocolate squares from Ghirardelli. Makes every day a bite better.
Logging in user guest 036. Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to the Home Safety Hotline. HOMESAFETY, I don't know why I spelled that out. You remember analog horror, spooky stuff. There's someone in your house. There's someone knocking at your door. There's someone behind you, stuff like that. This is not the typical way that we deal with this. This is how we help other people deal with invaders in their home. So, let's see, look at the commercial. Oh.
Missing an ear over here as well.
So that's what we're all about. We here at Home Safety Hotline, we here at Home Safety Hotline are going to be helping other people get their homes safe and stay away from all those horrible things. They're going to be calling me, and I'm going to be answering expertly because I'm an expert.
Okay.
Wow, ain't this beautiful?
Let's move the electronics further away from the dish of water.
Okay.
Right? Right. Did I finish that guy? You look done. No, I need to touch up your ones in the bottom, so I'll do that after. And we'll be done.
Oh. Hello. Hi.
My name is Carol, and I'll be acting as your supervisor during your time here at HFH. Before you begin your first day here, let me tell you a bit about how things work here. You are an HFH responder. As such, it's your job to learn about various possible hazards so you can answer the questions of our callers intelligently. When a client calls,
Thank you, Carol. Okay, audio sound. I'm not sure those are bees. These things in addition to blah 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 blah. Black mold. Yeah, that's not good. Does it have a sound? Hey, what's up?
John here.
Oh.
My wife insisted I call this number. It sounds like she thinks we might have some kind of infestation. My wife keeps telling me about specks of dirt or something in the kitchen. Just looks like talking to me. I don't know. You tell me, I guess.
How am I supposed to know what it looks like? This is, I mean, is it black mold? I think gopher. I think he might be talking about black mold. Pretty sure. I'm gonna say black mold. All right. Another person safe from the horrors of mold. Long-term danger. Supplies. That's nice. Termites. Hi. Welcome to the HSH. Oh.
Here. Last week I called you guys about some crap in my yard. I was told it wasn't anything to worry about. Well, guess what? There's more piles of crap in my yard. I'm talking huge piles of brown out there. You better not tell me it's nothing again, because I know I've seen something moving out there. Tell me what it is so I can take care of it once and for all.
Huge pile. Are you talking about literal crap, or are you talking about... What are you talking... Oh. Please, alright, hold on. It could be a mole. Never kill a mole. Gopher. I mean... I'm guessing it might be a mole. Mole?
No, termites eat wood, so there wouldn't be any in the yard.
I'm gonna go with mole. There we go. I'm guessing I solved it. I don't know why a mole would be pooping. I'm not sure why you must never kill a mole.
The dirt.
I mean, I wouldn't want to. I'm not saying I want to, but it's just like that seems something weird. This is great.
I tried to do these more in a like an Easter colors. It didn't quite work.
Welcome to the Home Safety Online. Hi. Oh. I don't have that entry in my book. Probably nothing to worry about. And definitely not something you guys need to worry about ever. Don't call me for help.
Don't call me for help.
Hi, I'm so sorry. My name is Grace, and it's probably nothing, but I thought I'd call just in case. Lately, I can't sleep at night because of this annoying little sound coming from my attic. It sounds kind of like eek, 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 eek. You know, it's probably nothing. I'm sure it could just be regular old house noises, but I just thought I'd call to ask and make sure.
E? You talking about B-E-E-E's? Oh. What about M's? I mean, that's probably it, but I want to say B's too. It could be B's.
Bees don't say bee, bee, bee. They're not a Pokemon. Do.
All right, this is going great. Nothing to worry about. Hi. Hello. Oh. whippersnappers yelping and whining and, Alright, Buzz Goober, I don't know what you mean. Okay.
Maybe you guys have a lawn mowing service or something? My good friend has a kid refuses to mow. It's getting real crazy out there. Looking like a rainforest over here. My kid is complaining about being too sick to do anything about it. Stress of this stupid lawn's giving me a headache just thinking about it. You guys, can you send some guys up to get this done?
I don't know. I don't know if that's in my. I don't know if that's in my entry. Bees. Bees. All right, that's what I'm all about here. Better not be Tim. Oh, hi, Carol.
It's Carol again, your supervisor. I wanted to let you know that you've been granted access to additional household hazard information.
Oh.
Please be aware that this information is confidential and not to be shared with anyone outside of HSH. If you diagnose one of these hazards, we will be providing all the information to the client that is pertinent to addressing their concerns. Nothing more. Thank you.
Good to know. Permissions have been updated. Wow, bat! All right. Carbon monoxide? Common hob?
You guys handle security. I need home security. I was breaking into my house and going through all my stuff at night. I know it's Bob from accounting. He's always been envious of me. I know what you're doing, Bob. Going through my papers, taunting you with your organization skills. I need your best home security equipment. Grosso!
Uh-huh. Okay. Please hold. Okay, you got common hob, you got your desk hobs. You're capable of metamorphosizing. Alright, please hold! Feast. A false beat. Oh, just digestive issues and back problems. So it's like any parasite. Okay, whatever. Cannot be removed without killing the host. Well, just like any other parasite, so that's fine. Those are pipes. Uh-huh. House fires. Well, that's not good. Lamp spray. Stair slug.
Lift your lashes to the next level. New telescopic lift mascara by L'Oreal Paris. We're worth it.
Wood secretions. Well, it sounds like you got some common hobs. Or false beat, but I'm gonna go with common hobs. Yes, my hobs. That's what I'm all about here at HSH. You take care of those hobs. Don't provoke them. Whatever you do, don't provoke. Oh. Welcome to HSH.
John here again. I got beef with you.
Yeah.
Your people give me bad info.
Oh.
What you sent us didn't have anything to do with our problem.
Oh.
I'll be sure to tell our friends not to be bother calling.
I don't remember what your problem was. And I don't know how I possibly couldn't have solved it. I solved it exactly and precisely, too. Hey.
Sorry, calling to see if you know about anything I can do. Sorry. Anything you can do to prevent pollen from coming in the house? I think there's something seriously wrong with my ventilation or something, because I cannot stop sneezing. In the past, I haven't had problems so long as I've stayed inside, but I think something's getting in.
Yeah, please hold, did I say something about sneezing or allergies or something like that? Do you have black mold? That's what I said that other guy had. Oh. Do you have a musty smell? That's what I'm here for. Oh, I guess didn't that guy say something about coffee grounds? I guess that could have been ants. Hi.
Do you know if there's such a thing as house-based that clean? Like, maybe to disguise the robbery? At night, I keep hearing all this noise coming from my living room, but when I go look at it, I find the place spotless. I haven't yet found anything missing. I've talked with the cops, but they keep telling me to call this number. So here I am. Is there something you can do?
Common hop? Could it be a hop? Do they clean? There's no false face. Consume dirt. Cleaning? You got a common hob! Wow, common hob. You're welcome, Hunnigan. That's what I'm all about. Hello.
Hey, yeah, Pat Ray sent me some info. I was asking for some lawn care. Now my whole family's sick to our stomachs and issues all get out. Thanks for nothing, jerk.
I sent you stuff about the bees. I feel like maybe you should have heeded the warning. Well, I don't exactly know what you needed. You asked for lawn care. How was I supposed to help you? Hello, please don't be another wrong help. Oh.
Yeah, name's Brett Pinball. I'm calling to lodge a complaint against your place of business, whatever. I have never seen such a big old mess left behind by your pest control team. There's tons of twigs, sticks, pebbles, sod. I ain't putting up with it no more. I got sawdust coming out my drawers here. I gotta grab you by the cord and smack you around till next Sunday. What's it gonna do? What's it gonna do to make this right?
I don't know. What am I gonna do to make this right? Man, okay. You got sawdust coming out of your drawers. You talk. Oh, but I was gonna help you. It's carpenter ants, maybe, or termites. That was it. That was probably it.
Well, just gonna be on nice next.
Hi.
It wasn't Bob from accounting. It wasn't Bob at all. I thought it threw you away. Why didn't you warn me? What is this nonsense invoice, Missy? Why is it growing bigger? Get away!
Was it a stair slug? Maybe it was a desk hop.
Hello?
Hi.
Here, letting you know that your trial employment period here has ended. Please remember that what you have seen here is strictly confidential. Do not tell anyone what you have learned here today. Our eyes rest upon me. We hope to work with you again soon.
Okay, I think it's a desk hob is your problem. Okay. Oh. Ah.
I'm concerned about the stability of my new home.
I'm so sorry. My name is Marie, and it's probably nothing.
I think I just played this.
The worst Satan worshiper in my shit.
Satan?
Going on my house, and I can figure it out now.
Well, I was hoping to do a little
Welcome to Home Safety
gooder. you everybody so much for watching. I look forward to this full release when it comes out. My actions might have resulted in the death of 2 people or more. So, who's to say? Anyway, thank you. Let me know if you want to see this game when it fully comes out. There you go. We'll see you. Bye!
At Walmart, you can stock up and restock for school. Who loses a shoe?
If his head can fully rotate, then there's a world where he's something under the head. Like it's costume. Spring lock suit. Maybe Frank is a spring lock suit. Wait, you're killing me so early.
It went.
Wait, no,
Yes,
get out of here.
yes.
That was too short.
No.
I know the feel of that intro, though. I know when that intro goes.
Do you want me to do it again?
We gotta do. No, there's no way it was that early. It's never that early.
Okay, fine.
Did you cut it early? What happened there? Are you
No.
messing with me right now? I think you're messing with me. I'm getting gaslit by 7 seconds.
I was like,
Ash is gaslighting me with 5-second increments right now. I'm messing with my head. Are you sure?
I'm so positive.
Roll it again. Hey guys, and welcome to GT Not Live, where today we're in a very new space. We have started from the bottom, and now we are here in my attic. That is a literal translation that has happened. We were down in my basement, and we moved up a couple floors, and now we're in the top floor. How is it up here, Ash?
It's warm.
I like that you just I'm like a waiter that always comes in at the wrong time. I don't know how waiters do this, but they have the uncanny ability to just walk in and ask you how your order is as soon as you've taken a bite. So I just literally pulled that with Ash unintentionally, who has been patiently waiting for your food that I got you, and you're like, yeah! And it's like, no, I tossed it to you immediately. How's the attic for you? The bonus room.
Oh, it's
Warm?
so bonus.
Is it warm?
It's really warm. I'm sweating.
Are you really? I'm freezing right now.
And you're weird for that.
Okay, that's fair. Now, I feel slightly attacked.
You accused me of gaslighting you. I'm on the defense right now.
Clearly. Oh my gosh, we gotta cleanse this place with a good energy, Ash. As you can tell, this is obviously not the fully completed version of what this will be. There's still some kinks to work out, and we're in the process of still moving everything in. But this is kind of in transition mode as we speak. So, welcome. It's gonna be green with a side of blue, because this is blue. This is green. This is blue, but they look very similar in color.
They do. We might actually be cooking up something a little special, because I know that recently
Is it the orange couch? Are we
We
swapping
just-
out this couch with the orange couch?
there's
They
a
can
likelihood, a
Really?
probability that we might.
No! I finally have a use for the orange couch.
Yeah,
With the
man.
bird defecation on it.
It really does look like that, but I hope that no one will be able to tell. It's like a marker. That's where you sit.
Oh, yeah. Please sit on the marker, Matt. Yeah, where the bird decided to relieve itself. It's great. It's totally fine. I'm so glad that after 5 years of us having this awkwardly floating around our various spaces, it'll finally come into play.
Yeah.
It's earned its time.
Right.
It's there. It's ready. It'll be the third couch that we've gone through on GT Live. I think at that point, Ben. Couch number 3. Very exciting. Background number 5.
5?
Well, let's see. There was the small room in my old house.
Right.
There was then Beach house, where we just had like the kind of like recording space on our middle floor, and then there was a transition mode where we went to the office, and we had the office space, and then we had transitioning out of the office, so that was 4. Then we had downstairs, which was in the 6th. Season 6 of JT Live!
Oh my gosh, I made it to a new season.
We made it to a new season. Season
Wow.
6. Congrats, you made the cut.
Whoa!
We didn't kill you off between seasons.
I had them for a second there. I had a long time where I was not here.
No, it's true. Yeah, you had like a mid-season hiatus.
Yeah.
Like you were one of those characters that went off and had a baby, and then like you were brought back later or whatever. Like, oh, we didn't notice you were gone, or what? You know, what? We certainly noticed that you were gone. But in the world of fiction, where people are like, oh.
Yeah. And my activities will be revealed in the Avengers spin-off show.
Ooh, yeah, you know, did you go to a farm and like raise beets?
Beets?
Yeah, like Dwight.
Oh.
Dwight Schrute from The Office. That was originally supposed to be his spin-off show.
Really?
Yeah, there was originally supposed to be a Dwight Schrute
All right,
spin-off
there we
show
go.
for The Office called...
I think this one's done as well. Just need to wait for it to dry, and that's it. I got 3 cats done. Long and a chonky boy and a this little one. So quite pleased with that. I do need to make a few more just because I know the holidays are coming up and kind of the locals really like them. So there we go. I have to fix that. Okay. Before we get anywhere else, let's just fix this one right here. I cannot see the eyes. So what color should I put them? Let's do purple. Oh shit, yeah, I actually need to touch your ass up, don't I? The black, I got smudged there. And these 3 cats down here need a touch up, so let's do that then. There, you can see the eye. Yeah, the other color was just a little bit too close to the fur tone, I guess. Alright, let's start with the touch-ups then.
The farm or something like that. And it was supposed to be Dwight and his family and their adventures raising beets.
Oh,
And
wow.
they tried a soft pilot of it in the final season of The Office. And it was so resoundingly rejected from the audience that like everyone's like, what the heck is this? That it never went anywhere. I think that's how the story goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, and then I need brown.
Oh.
Better stuff.
Oh, thank you. I
not-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think I would enjoy watching Ash raise beets on a farm. I feel like that would be actually.
Oh,
fun.
yeah, the red one there.
I'd be so stressed out.
You would.
I would be
You would also
so
be much hotter than you are currently in this well air conditioned attic.
It's just me, like, being dehydrated and stressed about plants.
It would be a very.
That's a good
it'd be
job.
vibe.
Yeah.
It'd be a mood.
Right.
I just see a lot of memes coming out of that and a lot of just incredible animated gifs. Like,
Oh my
you
God.
running around, my plants!
My beets!
My beets! My beets! Just going around and shouting out my beets. So today, as we're kind of in transition mode, what we have going on is we're returning back to the world of Welcome Home. So in July, Welcome Home got an update that has completely revamped the website. For those of you who haven't been paying attention, Welcome Home is a website ARG art experience. It's a lot of different things. But it's so cool because it's filled with all these different hidden Easter eggs and codes and lore that you can just click around and find. Like, it really does feel like a game, right? But it's set in this incredible world. Basically, the theme is that there was this old TV show back in the day that started a bunch of puppets, felt very like Mr. Rogers meets Ross, meets Sesame Street, and what happened, it went off there mysteriously, and so this website is kind of
Where's
like
the orange?
a restoration project to bring these things back
There it
together. We've done theories about it in the past, where we've said like, hey, it seems like this is a cult, it seems like there's all sorts of...
Gesundheit.
Bless you, Matt.
Thank you. Bless us all.
Bless us all.
Bless us all. Bless. Bless.
Bless.
Bless. So that Wally, the main character of the show, is a cult leader, and that he's, the neighborhood itself is kind of this corrupt entity, and that all of them may or may not be controlled by or worshiping the house in the center of it called home, and that seems to be the thing in control. And this story is being told to us through secret imagery, Easter eggs, codes, and things on the website. very fun. We did a GT Live back when we first became aware of this, where we were just kind of like casually exploring the whole thing, and we did theory recently, discussing some of the things that are in this new update, which we're going to talk about, but there's more here that I wanted to dig into today and do some live theorizing about, because I haven't gotten a chance to really dig into a lot of this. It's also one of those things where I know that there's a couple more Easter eggs that I was told to look into. There's a couple things I wanted to just like look at and experience live with you, because I haven't gotten a chance to dig around because we've been super busy. And yeah, so that is the plan today, my friends, is we're going to do some more live theory crafting about Welcome Home the experience. I'm going to catch you up on some of the things that we haven't covered on GT Live, as well as do some kind
Don't
of like
fuck
live
it up
stuff
while you're touching
for
it up.
theory that I think we're going to put together if there's enough to it as we kind of explore. So, without any further ado, let's hop into Welcome Home after I talk to you about wonderful Era, our wonderful sponsor for today's episode, Era. There, that seamless transition right there, wasn't it? It's the end of summer.
Okay.
So Era has launched a new thing. Smooth, man. So it's the end of summer, and with the end of summer, there's a
Okay,
new flavor
I'll touch this up with the marker. Here.
Iced tea peach.
Shit, I missed one. Can't do it now. Later.
Era, we've been promoting it all this year. It is the single reason why I drink as much water as I do at this point. The only reason I stay hydrated with anything other than Diet Coke. And this new
dilemmas disappear with Pizza Hut's delicious 555.
Okay.
Now that's delivering.
And historically, right, you guys all know that Wildberry has been my like game-changing flavor of choice. It's still all together like top.
I'm not sure how to get rid of that glare.
Don't be sleeping on it, my friends. I was not an iced tea fan growing up.
Oh, cancel it out. That did not help at all.
It's one of those things that, like, as I've grown up and as I've experienced more tea in my life, love it. This is actually a fantastic new flavor. This is my new go-to for the summer because it feels summery, but it doesn't have like if I drink too much tea, it actually upsets my stomach because the tannins in the tea will actually kind of like eat away at your stomach lining. It's great. It's super fun. But iced tea peach doesn't do that because guess what? There's no flavor. I'm literally just drinking water. By popping up the nozzle, boop, it activates the flavor, and by flavor I mean just the scent. And it fools my brain into looking to like increase the overall water intake in your life. I swear, game changer. They just sent me another, like they have a new version of their like giant tankards. There's a new silver version, which is really nice.
Here we go.
It's cool for a really long time, and it contains more, so I'm able to just consume more. And I'm so well hydrated at this point. It's my water game, second to none. Twitch Hydration Bot ain't got nothing on me. The only thing that's missing, and I will call this out, Era, because I know you have to watch this because you are the sponsor who's going to approve this little segment here, so make sure I'm not saying anything wrong. But Era, listen to me right now. I was in London, and I know that in the UK you have a cola flavor. And I don't know why it's not here in the US. Probably too good for us here in the US. But bring the cola flavor over here, please. I have not tried it because I didn't have a chance to try it when I was over there. I should have. Tom probably had one. Tom loves his Era. Did you? You were in London. Did you try the cola flavor?
I didn't because I learned about it after I got back.
They're keeping it from us.
They are.
Ash.
This is gatekeeping.
This is literally a conspiracy to keep us away from the cola flavor.
Which feels like it would do so well in the US.
So crush, because that's what we drink here in the US. We drink cola.
Yeah.
They don't drink cola in the UK. I mean, they do. But like, they drink tea. This peach tea. No, they're drinking nuts. No. So, Era, listen to me. This is Matt. This is your friend Matt. You know, your trusted sponsor for this year here at the Era Company. Bring cola over. I have a feeling it'll crush, and at the very least, like, if all of Maggie, I'm drinking like 3 of these a day, I guarantee I'll be drinking like 5 to 6 of these a day if it's cola flavor. Amazing. And great. And guess what? If you get sick of the flavor, or if you don't want tea or whatever, it's like, boop, pop down, done. It just becomes water. It's actually just, like, to me, it's a blast to try the different flavors, because I think all of them are different and fun, and I like some more than others, but, like, anytime there's a new flavor, it's So they get a little excited.
Yeah, it's like that little adrenaline kick where it's like, oh my
It's
gosh.
like, ooh. And again, just water. But it's like, ooh, it's berry. Oh, it's tea. Oh, maybe it's cola. There was another one, raspberry lemonade. Not here.
Oh man, I want the iced coffee one.
I do not,
Yeah, you
because I'm
don't.
not much of a coffee person.
And I'm not much of a cola person. But,
I'd love to try it though.
yeah.
I'd love to try it. Is that also not one here in the US?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, Era? Please bring it on over here. For Ash. Kurt, love Matt, Pat, and Ash. Alright? So, but hey, you know what? We love you too. Thanks for sponsoring us. Thanks for making me more well hydrated in my life. If you want to check out Era, because I keep talking about it, and you want to increase your hydration and your just betterment of liquids in your body, go to the website that's probably down in the description, right?
Oh, it's down
And
there.
I'm sure we have a code.
Oh, we sure do.
And I'm sure that code is probably going to help them save like 10% off their entire order.
Exactly 10%. Site-wide, baby!
Psych-wide, baby! Save that 10%. I don't know what the code is though.
You want to take a
I
guess?
bet it's GT Live.
It's GT Live!
Oh! Yeah! Oh, I'm so good at this. It's like I've done this before. Bam! Wait, use that critical thought right there. This is the mind that is solving Welcome Home, and the mind that is failing at solving FNAF right now. Got 'em! So anyway, there's a link down in the description below. Use the code GT Live in order to save 10% across the whole site. I totally need that.
Oh yeah.
And get hydrated with me. Cheers. Smarter, faster, every time. I was trying to come up with a catchphrase off the top of my head. It did not work. Liquefy your brain. No, that's not. No.
Alright, I'm going to darken this.
Without any further ado, now, sponsorships aside, new announcements about the season aside, we're talking about
See what-
But before we do that,
Look, there's another but before?
we should close out of your email tab and all of your Google Drive tabs with your personal information.
You don't want all my personal information on everyone's display right now? Get out of here.
You know, I'm sure some people do, but like, I see that email every single freaking day. I'm done. I'm done.
That did not help at all.
How do you feel? Is that better?
I feel great.
Is my identity safe now?
Yeah, it feels much more secure.
Excellent. So, this is the website. At first, you can immediately tell, like, without question, if you watched our first series of coverage on this, immediately something comes to mind, which is these eyeballs. They were not here before. It used to be that there were more eyeballs in kind of the side panels, where a lot of the design had this kind of repeated motif of eyeballs. And you can still see them, right? Like, you can see, like, there's an eye, some eyes there, there's some eyes there. It seems much more subtle, at least than I remember it last time in the like initial versions of it. But the eyes here. And what our theories have covered is that there are two main symbols that you see kind of on the website at this point. You have the eyes, which represent Wally, because Wally is watching us. And then you have the spirals. And this, I'll see if I can point one out when we find one as we search around. But the spirals represent home, this guy. And even, it's funny, even as I talk through this in real time, one of the fun things about live theory crafting is that
Hi, sweetie.
like ideas kind of pop up wherever.
Yeah, I love you.
Right. Even here,
You want some snuggles? Come here.
and this is the guy who's kind of like maybe the cult leader, maybe possessed by home, maybe under his control like a puppet.
You're the one
But
head banging my knee. Come here.
the living entity that all these cultists, all these followers are worshiping or whatever, supervising from the background. And you're very
go.
careful watching Wally.
Alright, we're gonna have a little kitty break.
Which is something I haven't
Somebody
noticed
needs some
before.
snuggles.
As I kind of go back through
And some
it's
cuddles.
interesting to see that. Also the eye right there, very solid.
Can't go too long without kitty cuddles.
Might not be immediately obvious is that this was not here when I first loaded up the page. And we talked about this in the previous theory, but I think it's worth showing off here, which is throughout the website, if you wait long enough, these little drawings come up, right? If you click on them, you're like, oh, I got lost
Come here.
here. But wait. There it is, you gotta be patient.
There it is.
You got the record with the eyeballs.
There he is. Oh, big hugs.
There you are.
You sit in the grass again? Better be. Fucking something under there.
It's like a YouTuber laugh. Ha ha ha. You can tell like the YouTuber. Ha 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 ha. What a funny joke. Like,
Oh, my baby.
Um,
Oh, I love you to bits.
each one comes with a different letter. And so in our previous theory, we kind of piece together that you can spell out stuff with those letters. But I did want to call that out. So basically, things that you want to keep an eye out for as you're looking through the website right now are the hand drawings by obviously spellings or links in the website. And then, just in general other secret imagery. But the reason why the drawings are important is because Wally is established to be the artist of this world, and so there's drawings and Wally, they're connected, so that's what we're kind of going through here. The other thing I wanted to show off that we didn't get a chance to because we're covering this kind of after we did our initial theory on it is the fact that we have here in the exhibition there was
He's good. Back to work.
to a secret code here. So it was
And
basically this is talking about
he's gone bonkers.
Together. So it's like version 1 of the website they were talking about, hey, we're going to put together a celebration of this show. We're going to put some of the memorabilia on display, and hopefully fans of the series kind of come together to check it out, right? And what ended up happening is this is now in the update, like, hey, guess what? We can put this show together, and it was very exciting. But what we found, we were searching here the other day, and this is kind of talking about it, like here, you click answer, just randomly links to here, which gives you the whole password code, the whole password sequence was here. So it's like, well, there's a password, we got to test it, then we tried a bunch of different things, and so we retried all of them with different capital letters, underscores, periods, lowercase, like, I think this is, in general, if you're the type of person who is creating your own games or creating your own ARGs, in this case, I think this is a brilliant example of how to communicate to the audience what they have to do in a way that feels organic, but not super obvious, right? So, like, whoever this person is working on this code and working to decipher it, it looks like they're crazy, notations and whatever, they're taking notes and trying to figure it out. But they're telling you, like, hey, you, person playing at home, there's not going to be capital letters, there's not going to be others. So if you tried this, it's none of this, it's not meant to be nothing, you just have to put in the words, right? I think that's really, really cool. And the code is 5 characters. Because a lot of times with ARGs, what you find, and we've covered this a little bit on this channel, where we've done live theory crafting about other ARGs, there is this idea of it's so open-ended and so wide that you don't know, like, almost anything can be a possibility, and so you're left just, like, having to brute force your way through a lot of stuff. And what this has immediately done is given us kind of the general guidelines of, hey, you're looking for 5 characters, it's not going to be any of this weird stuff, and then they go one step further and say the worksheet is 5 questions, could this be the key, are the questions the key, etc. And then you see telephone down here, which is all this stuff too. So, like, they're giving you some pretty explicit clues about how to go through it. So you click in, that gives you this guy, which is your little safe that we're trying to open. And again, we talked about.
It's like the light's coming from this way, I think. So any more shadow here on the fin.
And so we were able to open that in the previous theory. If you haven't seen that one, it's worth checking out. But I wanted to show, I think that's really, really smart, the way that they put this together.
Actually, I think I might need a lot more shadow.
Understand. I understand. Here we go.
There we go.
Do you like home? Home is my house. Do you have a home too? Do you hear it too? You can hear mine.
You creak a little bit. Sometimes my home creaks.
Downstairs when we were in the yellow room.
Yeah.
You definitely heard that home.
You did.
Yeah.
Mostly when someone was upstairs.
Right.
That home was very loud.
Very loud.
When Ollie would be like running around in like the upper floor, playing his little like game room or whatever. I feel like I'm hearing my home in a very different way than Wally hears hearing his home.
Yeah, for sure.
Slightly different.
Yeah.
Just a little bit different. But yeah, so there's another one of those. One thing I did want to call out, say something here. This is No, this isn't the one. It was the merchandise page, which had the phone. This was the other one that we talked about in the previous year, and then I think we're all caught up, and then we can kind of like search around on the site and see what else we have. But one thing that I want to call out here, which was another really cool one, is like, hey, here you would have, they're talking about all the different merchandise here. They're looking at, hey, we found all these old toys, all these old workbooks, which again are things that are giving you clues and hints and indications of like where we have to go to in this website. But here, this is another one where a second ago, this wasn't active, and now it is, because you clicked around and you waited for long enough, which again, I think is really smart.
With a little old parcel, when rain, snow, or shine, we weather the weather and never decline. This is Eddie DL, Eddie's Post Office speaking. How can I help you today? Hello? Is anybody there?
No.
Should I say the jingle again? We're the little old parcel, when rain, snow, or shine, we weather the weather and never decline. This is Eddie DL, Eddie's Post Office speaking. Ink stamps, I got them. Envelopes of paper, you bet. Crayons, glue, glitter, tape, staples, I got that too.
That's legit.
That's sick.
Nobody's there. Wait, I can't remember if the phone was ringing. Maybe I was gonna make a phone call. But who would I call?
That's legit.
Well, you're there. Have a good day.
Thank you. So, it's interesting, right? This whole time we've been talking about, and our theories around this have been about him, or like this all being a cult, worshipping home, this like evil, almost like Cthulhu-esque entity, right? This kind of like greater creature. It is interesting to hear him kind of talking about forgetting things, and not knowing who he was calling, is this a real phone or not, he's losing touch with reality, and I think immediately that starts to kind of throw into question or make you suspicious of like, are these willing cultists? How are they brought into the fold? How are they related to this whole thing? And what levels are they operating at? One thing that we discovered in our previous theory was the fact that it seems like the artwork has special paint on it. Some of the artwork has been tempered, so it has special paint that allows Wally.
I really suck at shadows, but some days we have to practice.
Or basically get access in your head. And so there's a possibility here that the characters in the show, because again, remember this is an old TV show from back in the day, that the old characters in the show were brainwashed in some way or kind of corrupted by whatever this old entity is. One more.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Great.
Is this a prank call, kid? Listen, I got a better joke for you. What did the bee say to the flower?
Buzz off.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there. What do I look like, a beesdropper? Not even a chuckle? Boy, tough crowd.
Oh no, Ash is dying over here.
That was fantastic.
Ash thought that was hilarious.
That was really good.
How about you call me back when you've got something funny to say too, little buddy? Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
There you go. Nice. But, secret button. So there's 8 people who live in the neighborhood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But then secretly, here's the 8th button. We got duet. Now this was one that I think was more hidden in the initial version of the site, that they kind of brought more to the forefront through that.
Hello? 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 Ha ha ha. like my joke?
Love to illustrate.
I think you are going to say yes. Ha, ha, ha.
Wally's laugh is it's like the lowest energy Joker ever.
To hear you think that this funny phone of mine is as though you aren't speaking at all. Maybe it is just a little fuzzy, like me. Speaking of,
Jane, you're feeling a little fuzzy.
do you know who I am?
The heartbeat and ambient stuff. That didn't happen. Heartbeat and ambient
Oh,
music.
no. Well, that's not neighborly at all.
Huh.
We've never met before. But don't worry, even though
What we say.
you and I haven't spoken before, I've seen you every time
Yeah,
you
baby.
have looked into my eyes. I want to know, what did you see?
Can you imagine this guy like hosting like a Sesame Street?
Sure.
Can you? Do you think you'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this guy? I feel comfortable with my children watching the guy who like slowly speaks in a monotone. Then you're like,
Hey, baby.
just
What?
because it can happen doesn't mean you have to be okay subjecting your small children to, like, oh, I'm totally gonna watch this family-friendly program. Fine. Fine. Ha ha ha. Show me what you see.
I hope you saw a friend,
Hi.
but I'm not sure you saw a name.
What?
That's
What is that?
Stand still. Let's start
Stop it.
over.
Stand still.
Ring, ring, ring,
See, this,
click.
they said the button was broken. It's clearly not. Wally has plenty to say.
Hi, I'm Wally. I'm so happy to finally meet you. I think you're the absolute most.
Wally's really chilling right now.
Uh-oh, I have to go now. Everyone is probably thinking about that strange phone call. It is funny to think about. Ha ha ha.
It's
Don't worry
hilarious.
though, neighbor.
It's real.
Cockatiel, ooh, it's very high fiber Kellogg's cereal. Kellogg's, nourish your great.
What?
It will be a little joke between you and me. You have to go too. You have work to do.
I do. To film this episode.
Remember, until you hear me again, keep your smile merry and always know that I love you very much. Goodbye.
Great. And it's duet, right? Which is a weird thing to kind of like title this down. Because it's just like Wally's little monologue over here. Wally's creepy little monologue. But you heard the door creak, right? And so again, throughout the series, you have these repeated moments of house sounds, home sounds, doors creaking, floors creaking, or like having thuds, or knocking on doors, things like that. What seems to be the house, home, talking to Wally or communicating with the characters in this series and telling something to them. So him being like summoned away is really interesting. One thing that I wanted to talk about and look at here is this, right? So we've been talking about how Wally communicates to us through drawings and how he's watching us and the eye symbolize him. The one I want to call out here is, so I noticed these bugs, right, on the website, and we did talk about this in our theory. We haven't talked about this one yet, but as I've been playing around on the site, I've noticed these, and they also have hidden links.
Hi, sweetie. All right, come on.
Does one polish one's horn? I don't know. Do horns need polishing maintenance? Thoughtful hum. Well, Loki shade right there. He's putting that on. That is a 3-star review right there. Yeah. Awesome. That's so cool. Little jump scare there at the end. Okay, so it cut out when we talked to Wally. Also, weird digitized cutout too. Can I access it again? I forgot how to access it again. But I pull it. I think that's just the opening frame. So that one was in a garden. And we know, based on the map, where's the map? Here's the map. So that was Frank. And we know Frank is the one with the garden. The smartest neighbor in Welcome Home. Frank is the resident bookworm with expertise on butterflies. Despite being the grumpiest and grayest of his colorful cavalcade, it's good to have someone so organized and matter-of-fact amidst the bunch. After all, he enjoys being Frank, even if it means being Frank. Haha. He's Julie's best friend.
Frankly, I don't think there's anything wrong with being frank.
Good one, Frank. Nice. This is interesting. I think this is actually... Frank does not have any known information regarding his origins prior to moving into home when compared to the others. So immediately that sets him apart in a really interesting way. Because everyone else, they have like a, they moved in, like, we go back and show off, like, Sally. According to other, she was the brightest star in the sky, even more than those around her. However, upon looking down at the nearby celestial bodies from her spot, she knew that there were still places she had yet to shine. She fell, and she seemingly accomplished her stardom. She has seemingly accomplished her aspired stardom, as there are only 9 visible neighbors in the home.
Oh, down in your bathroom.
9?
The horrible things in the bathroom.
All of them. What there were 8?
My dusters have done horrible things in the bathroom. I didn't mean that to make you relaxed.
Celestial, astronomical, stupendously fantastical. Don't you work and after the radiance of Sally Starlight.
I would say 9 because it's...
Hey, Jesus, what's next? Waiting for stuff to dry. What's over there I can work on?
So, the reason I said 8, right, is you have the 7 kind of main ones, and then you have 8 is Wally. So I guess 9 is maybe home itself. Is that what we're thinking of here? Is that like, maybe that's why they're considering home the last one? That's a weird call out, because all of the that I know about so far in the series has been 8. You got Barnaby, you got Howdy, you got Frank, you got Sally, Julius, who Frank was talking to in the last one, I believe. Penny Mailman. Bless you.
Thank you. Bless us all.
Bless. Right? So it's weird, and then this should be Wally's. Yep. Unless there's you, because at one point we did discover that you is an option. It's... So maybe this is one of the secret things that we unlocked last time.
Did I put anything in the box today? Yes. 3 things in the box today. Did I put anything in the box yesterday? No. I put anything in the box yesterday. Ooh, hello. Oh, is that Pompeii?
So maybe us.
Okay. That was not what I was expecting. But if you close your eyes, doesn't almost feel like nothing changed at all. Okay. Well, this is the original one that came with it. This is this one. Well, looks like I got 2 pictures for this. Nice.
That's okay if you can't. Don't worry. I know you're there. You know I'm here too. I will talk to you.
Was the transfer flash with that? The text that flashed on the screen before we got this?
Oops, wrong. There we
Oh,
go.
I did.
Wait, you saw text? Was there a flash frame?
I couldn't tell if it was that or like the transcript below glitched onto it, but I saw, it looked like that first question was like, can you see or can you hear me? So,
Let's see if it'll draw here in a second. Wait for it. Wait, okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, good one. Yeah, it's just really well hidden. I will talk to you. I appreciate that they have that. That's cool. So Frank is weird. There's 9 characters. That's also weird. And it looks like, in general, we have to find the bugs. That feels like that is one of the new things. Is finding the bugs on the website. Like, here's a bug.
Okay.
But it is not.
I'm so not creative. The style isn't something I'm familiar with.
You see other ones, so like the guest book. So last time the guest book held a lot of stuff, but now they're kind of shutting it down. But now we have a rhino beetle up here, and we have a drawing here. So here, let's do Wally's drawing first. Help! Does it help? Oh, help me. Hello? Close! Close. Alright, so this one's fine. I love it. It's like it's a one giant Easter egg hunt. It's fantastic.
I can hear you.
Nice. Will this show any light through it? Actually, it might just be perfect.
Each other's eyes so many times. You're looking at me now.
Great. Well, keep up the good work there, Wally.
Pardon me, ma'am. Well, if it isn't our reliable mailman, either that or my delivery decided to sprout legs and go for a walk.
What are we looking at? No, it's me. I'm sorry, I think I might have overestimated how much to bring you to town, honey. No,
No kidding. Say, Ed, how about you
There we go.
before they turn into bags?
Wow, that's top tier. I appreciate that.
so, Ellie, I guess I'm just rushed. Today I'm a little behind with my delivery.
You don't say.
I do say, I've been tossed around my mouth on parts. We've got a lot of
Uh-oh.
time for a mailman.
All life and all, Ed.
Well, clear back on schedule and back at the post office. I just got to set stamps off and trying to organize.
Did I?
Color, shape.
Oh,
Sorry, please.
you gotta do color. Sorting my shape is gonna leave you with lackluster results.
Sounds like a busy day ahead of
Your
you.
stamps mostly mean
I'll
space.
keep it busy. Remind me about a special order I need to live. It's the bowling balls duly ordered.
Ah, the bowling ball! Those are gonna kill you in shipping costs. The wait for that package, just brutal.
I'll get them to it faster than a bee, Karen. Wags to a honeycomb. Sounds good. Make sure it gets the jewels all in one piece.
Right. Almost break. Have a good day, you two. King bowling balls can't break. I see that happen.
You have a good one too, Ed. Boy, that fella can talk your ear off. Let's hope he doesn't run to anybody with that order, eh?
It's interesting that it's glitchy at the end. So, one thing that you immediately see, right, is that anytime someone acknowledges Wally, or like, they know that Wally's there. So I'm assuming that this is his camera perspective, or maybe like he's hanging out in the area. But as soon as they acknowledge that Wally's there, it shuts down. So, is this Wally possessed by home? Is this him serving as like a camera to the outside world? Is this like him in stasis mode and the entity of home is kind of, you know, observing through his eyes or whatever, and then as soon as someone like tells him to go online again, he's like, oh, it's me, I'm Wally again. Right?
Huh.
Kind of like, hey, I'm home, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to the neighbor, I'm eavesdropping, or I'm like a nanny cam kind of thing, and I'm using like my vessel to do that. And then all of a sudden when it's like, he's active, like, what do you say, Walls? And it's like, oh, hey, I'm back. I'm here. Maybe. That's the vibe I'm getting out of this.
Well, that's interesting.
Did you have thoughts?
No.
Yeah, if you have any thoughts, I'm gonna look around for another thought.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming there's similar to the last time where there was one on every page. I feel like there's probably something similar here. So I'm reading medium. But I'll place it at the beginning. They're pretty obvious. More the exhibition page, I think. There it is. I knew I saw something. So, look, what's hanging out? Oh, that's cute.
Little bug butt.
No, bye-bye, no thing. Oh, hello. Excuse you.
What is you planned for your husband to make this cake for you, really? It's such an honor.
Oh, I'm sure it is, darling. Now, let's get down to brass tacks.
Oh, I don't think I have any of those. I don't like to keep anything too sharp around me, you know.
Details, Poppy dear. Details.
Oh, of course. Now then.
Who has a yellow? Who's got a yellow hand? I mean, Wally. So, again, that and with everyone saying, like, hey, Wally, that reinforces that he's there present for these interactions. Yeah, she's pink. Is there anyone with yellow? Sally, I was gonna say, Sally the Star. Could be. Chicken is literally... We haven't done much with Poppy in general, like the chicken, we don't know too much about. I guess Eddie is yellow man, she's got bigger hands, so it feels like. Howdy is not, he's the green guy with like Dr. Octopus. Barnaby, and then Frank is gray. So again, it seems like this is the perspective of Wally.
What would I like? Poppy dear, this is going to be on stage. It's hardly a play. It's a me. And it needs to be big.
Performers, am I right? Theater people. So divas. So obnoxious.
Only three? Oh, dream bigger, Poppy.
Yes, it's supposed to be good. Make safe. What's this?
Is that gonna happen?
After all, this needs to be a showstopper. It needs to have beauty.
Oh, good color red.
Danger.
Apple. Duck centerpiece. And it's got a duck inside of it, which is double duck.
Look at my other friend, you'll do great. I'm certain of it. there's no one else in the neighborhood, I would.
I didn't mix enough of this color, and I can't mix any more.
Just because you're really doing it, something that doesn't come out of a gelatin mold.
Wow. Low-key shade right there.
Dang.
Dang. I didn't know that there was such like judgment to be had about gelatin
I
molds.
caught Wally on blast, I guess.
Would that be mine? What?
Anything but gelatin. I felt like gelatin molds are actually harder to make, probably. You gotta get the like right level of gelatin in it.
To be honest with you, I think that well, the audience can't taste it from their seats. Now,
So let's talk about stuff for the show. Oh, he's back online again.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like in screensaver mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like in screensaver. He's like, oh. It's also like me when I was a kid. I had like an adult dinner party.
Oh, yeah.
And like the adults are talking about adult things, and you're just like,
Facing that a little bit.
oh man, here you go. Oh, I got you something. What do you think, Matthew? Oh, hey, yeah. Totally.
School's going fine.
Yeah, doing great. Awesome. Just crushing it every day. It's interesting that all of them are labeled answer. And 214, 214, 1314, HE, SP, HE, 614, maybe 6 of 14. So maybe this is telling you of 14, 13 of 14, 6 of 14. JF, is it SP, HE, JF. So I'm wondering if you put them in order, go 1 to 14, you get all the letters, and then maybe it's a substitution code. The other thing that I know Tom told me to look at, specifically that he wanted my thoughts on, was, because Tom's been doing a lot of research on this for the upcoming game theory, is, what was it? It's it's whatever the old, this one, WOXYVE. So, again, to remind you, in the first iteration of the website, we went from page to page to page to page, and on each page there was one letter that was, like, out of place. It was higher than the others, it was out of sync, it was a different color, maybe, or it was hidden text. And if you put them all together, you would get secret web pages. And they didn't give you any sort of order to put those letters in, so you just tried a ton of, what would that be, 6 factorial combinations, and we did it for a long time.
That sucked.
That was the worst.
So hard.
Yeah, we did a lot of different combinations, and we found, I think, the bulk of everything that we were supposed to find, but it took so long, which again, I appreciate why they did that password, like, let me click that password in. But I'm going to check out this one, it could be good for some reason. Oh, because there's a bug. That's what it is. So, this one we found last time, which is old silhouette.
It's supposed to be a, Godzilla's silhouette against the mountain.
A butterfly enters the right side of the frame, moves across the screen, camera follows it next shot. Hello neighbor, how are you today? Hope you're feeling happy. So we found this one last time. This is new though, the fact that there's a bug here and he's clickable. So it seems like even on the secret page, with this new update, it seems like even on the secret pages, there are more secrets to be had. And so I'm curious what this one is. And unlike everything else that has been this is 14 of 14. There it is. 14 of 14. So that's what that is. X of 14. So this is the last of them. DH. Yeah, there's got to be something with these letters at the end that's saying, like, you're going to piece it together. So there's 14 bugs then.
I tells him, I'm just pulling your leg. Well, I just should have seen him home. I had the poor guy's head turning like a merry-go-round. Yeah, he's a little selfish. No wonder Julie can't tell me.
Sounds of banging can be heard. Sort of like laughter. But one, that didn't happen. Like we didn't hear. But two, the fact that the transcript is telling us what home is saying or saying. That's really interesting. And here you have Barbie, because again, like, you don't know how far the like dramatic conceit of this whole thing goes, so maybe home is the 9th member of the neighborhood.
Oh, during that first ritual.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the resonance and the Barbie.
That's home.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. No, totally. So I don't know if home is officially considered to be the 9th. That's good to know. But it is interesting that normal kids, because up to this point it feels like Wally has been the only one talking to home, right? We saw like images like this in the initial version of the website, right? Like he is the click on the spiral now. So the spiral we talked about represents home itself. He do be shaking. He do be shaking. If the home is a knockin', or if the home is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. There's no doubt. Oh, okay, there we go. Only the sound of home creaking, groaning, banging, or squeaking. I was wondering that. If it was Morse code. Huh! I don't know if Tom found this. Ah! Oh, crazy. Squeaks, dashes. Huh.
Weird.
It would be a very short Morse code.
What?
It would be like dot, dash. I'm assuming the squeaks are dashes. Dot, dash. Dot, dash is V, if I'm reading it right, but I could very well not be. It could be literally anything else. Dot, dash. Dot, dash. Was that a squeeze? That's tricky. Because that first one has a squeak, so if you're saying dashes are squeaks. Dash, dot. It's a lot of dashes in a row.
Right now we've got like a V, a W, and O.
I was gonna say, it seems like an O. Shoot, I almost lost it. It's also interesting that this guy keeps jittering in terms of like he keeps freezing on something. I don't know if that means something. Password neighboring. Huh. So creaking, groaning, banging, or squeaking. It does seem like there's a sound to indicate when they're transitioning to the next word. So that's one squeak. But that one feels like its own standalone thing. What is one long? One long is T. That would be VT. Not great. Not great there, Bob. Okay. It's not gonna be super exciting for us to like stand here and like listen to this over and over, so we'll come back to this, but this is interesting. This is gonna show up in a theory at some point, because we gotta figure out what that one is.
Maybe we could pull that like a WAV file from it. and then put it into something and see if like
Right.
different online translators can pick something up
If
from
we
that.
could do it, yeah. Because the squeaking, yeah, it's really interesting. And then this, so I was just saying, hey, up till this point, that's funny, I didn't even expect that. Up to this point, here we go. Up to this point, we've only seen Wally. Interesting, the spell goes down too. Up to this point, we've only seen Wally talking to Home. So I think it's really telling that we also have Barnaby, one of the other characters, talking to Home too. So it's unclear whether Home is just a character in this world and everyone's talking to it, or is Barnaby part of the like actual worshipping of this land here.
She's got a sense of humor only Frank could love. Did I tell you that joke she gave me? Something about 3 to 1? I ought to be a good Samaritan and teach her a thing or two about puns. What? You didn't like that one? I came up with it on the fly. That ought to be worth something. Yeah, speaking of flies, I was going on and on about his family today. The poor guy's got more family members than a caterpillar's got legs. If I'm going out, it's at least 4. Hey, just walk around on all 4s like what? Then I don't count arms. That reminds me, you're getting better at running. Especially for a guy that's only got 2 legs. Still stands easier than my mama though. And he's a real chicken.
Opens and closes the door judgmentally. So Home's not happy with that.
Hey, I kicked him down for a good reason.
So Home doesn't like either the joke, or it doesn't like the fact that Barnaby is chasing one of the other neighbors.
Home says be kind to your mother.
No, I didn't see that. Open and close his door judgmentally. So Home very clearly has strong feelings about Barnaby attacking another Home member, or
The underside is lighter.
like his bad jokes or something. That's interesting though, because it shows like what Home, the entity, this thing that's we keep saying is like controlling everything, does or doesn't like.
Jews were supposed to come into that, which they didn't. And if you think about it, I'm the poor guy that deserves an apology. I ran after that mailman all through the neighborhood, and with nothing to show for it.
A bit like laughter.
Yeah, real funny. A poor little guy like me deserves some sympathy. A clown without a kazoo is like an artist without his paintbrush. Go on, get down. Hello? Buddy? Val? Hey, you stopped waiting? Everything all right?
So that was so interesting. So again, when he says Wally at the end, it ended, but it wasn't as immediate of a cutoff that time, which makes you think. And someone noticed that he was offline. The relationship between Wally and Home is interesting, because he was talking to Home, and Wally was like deactivated. But as soon as he turned to Wally, he still didn't respond. He heard some creaking, and then Wally activates here. So either there's swapping consciousnesses, and Wally's got like one mind, but it passes to Home at certain points, or they're both the same thing, like Home and Wally are one and the same, or Home is taking over. Interesting. It's also interesting that Home does not like some of Barnaby's behavior here. That's really fascinating. And that's also being told to us through this guy. The bugs.
I love that there's bugs.
In general?
Yeah.
Just in this world?
Like, I don't know if there's some kind of like symbolic significance to that, but no, I'm delighted by bugs.
Well, I think here's the thing. Bugs are here's help. Right. The hashtag here's bug. So there's 40. here's the thing, right? So if Wally's communicating to us because he's an artist through the drawings, that then means Frank is the bug guy. And, like, he's got the butterfly here, he's got butterflies here, even his tie is like a butterfly. And Frank is often depicted with a book or butterfly message. Butterflies are sitting in his focus. There's also a source of information about the neighbors. Wait, here. So Frank also doesn't have any known information about him, which is weird. There's a lot of weirdness with Frank. They don't know how he got there. He's associated with these bugs that are appearing everywhere. Frank was often depicted with a book or a butterfly net, since butterflies are sitting in his focus. It's also a source of information for all the other neighbors when it comes to working with old scripts. There's also a source of information for the other neighbors when an answer to a question was needed, as noted in old scripts. Okay, so he's like, he's the smart one, but often be discredited for comedic effect. So, of this Sesame Street, and then people would make fun of him because he was like, Frank would be partnered with Julie as a straight man in various skits, merchandise, and advertising, and in the song "The Fun in Your Frown." In the show itself, the puppet appeared with a fixed frown on its face, but in illustrated material, he often had more complex expressions. Any concept work surrounding Frank's puppet could not be uncovered. There's evidence that has revealed that his head could be fully rotated. Yeah, we saw that in some gallery images last time.
That's really intriguing, right? Because all of our tabs at the top say answer.
Yeah.
And it's like, on one hand, it's, hey Wally, like they're asking Wally to answer at the end of each of these dialogues. But in the URL, it's also telling us part of a code, which is in and of itself part of the answer.
Right.
So there's kind of like a dual meaning happening here,
Right.
if Frank is talking to us.
Yeah, he's also the source of information for other. When an answer to a question was needed, he's the guy with the answers.
Yeah.
So he has a mysterious past. He's the guy with the answers. He's the guy with the bugs. He's got all
the bugs.
Got all those bugs.
I trust him.
Yeah, I trust this man with bugs. And also, so that then means that his. Why would it matter that his head spins? Or his head's foot? Like, that's a weird detail. Is it a bit? So, the true nature of what these puppets are in this world are unclear. Because this was a show. This was an edutainment show of this, like, old era where, like Sesame Street, right? Back in the day or whatever. And so, or Fraggle Rock. And so, I think about the puppets as being like they're actually puppets. Maybe Frank's not a puppet.
I was about to say, because they're usually all like attached the way that you would normally see them.
Right, like, I'm Kermit the Frog here. It's my Kermit impression. It's great. You know, Kermit the Frog here. But if his head can fully rotate, maybe there's a world where he's something under the head, like his costume. A spring-lock suit. Maybe Frank is a spring-lock suit. Could be. I mean, that would be a very big body, like.
Oh, yeah. The skinniest endo ever.
Yeah. Skinniest endo ever.
But.
Right, but is he, like, undercover in some way? He shows up unexpectedly. Everyone's like, I don't know who the heck you are, but we're just gonna accept you into the neighborhood.
It could just be some guy in a puppet costume.
Yeah, it's just a guy in a puppet costume.
Like.
And he's busting the cult of the actual puppets.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take you down. Hey, puppet cult, I'm gonna take you down.
Maybe one of those, like, Lost Media archivists went down the wrong path.
Right, just went off the
Oopsie.
rails. Interesting. Huh. So, anyway, here's the perfect time.
George works too, of course, but,
Here, I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing because I know we're out of time.
something extra. But that's just between us.
Of course, I'm not gossip.
Wait, gelatin? Poppy talking about gelatin. So Frank, hold up. So is this a low-key burn on Frank?
No. Oh, no.
course, no gossip. I suppose gelatin can always be relied upon. A lot of gelatin. Still, I think it holds for... So she's burning him when they're talking about Loki talking about using gelatin? It's a Loki Frank. So Frank and everyone else, there's friction. There's trouble in the town of Denmark, my friends, and it is Frank. That's it. They're voting him off the island because he's using too much gelatin.
Look, he's thinking so hard about answers and bugs that sometimes too much gelatin gets into the
I mean,
mix.
you gotta be careful. If you're not maintaining the right level of gelatin that you're putting in your recipe, it starts to get like really, really rubbery. You don't want that.
Yeah.
I've watched enough Great British Baking Show to know that if you add in too many sheets of gelatin, you are going to get something that's not worth the calories.
Why gelatin though?
Right? That's weird. It's a very strange detail, and I don't know if it's just a reference to popular desserts at the time. Because again, if this is a show from, say, the early 70s or whatever, like the gelatin desserts were really big back in... We did an episode about this on Food Theory, so I forget when... It was also like an episode that you wouldn't expect it to have been in. I forget which one it was. But we did an episode looking back at the history of gelatin-based desserts. And at a certain point, they just realized, like, oh, you know, we can mass-produce gelatin, and it became like nouveau riche, or kind of like it became the go-to dessert of the middle class, because it was historically an expensive thing, because you had to like boil down like bones in order to make the gelatin stuff. But then Jell-O or whoever figured out, like, oh, we could mass-produce this, and then it became available for everyone, and so all like middle-class families, and was it 50s? Maybe it was 50s, so maybe earlier than that, were making Jell-O molds because they're like, oh, this is the highfalutin fancy dessert that I'm going to impress all my friends with, even though everyone thought it was secretly disgusting and gross, but it was like, oh, I can impress it, and it looks good, and I can use a Jell-O mold. It is weird. It is a weird detail.
Like, is it...
Why?
I mean, it could be reflective of the time, but there's also, like you mentioned, the process of making gelatin, where you boil down, like, bones and get kind of like those proteins that help connect, like, muscles and, like, what, collagen, maybe?
Yeah, collagen.
So that could be, like, a more sinister detail,
Could be.
to look into.
That's really interesting. Huh. This is nice. So basically what we gotta do is we gotta put together this code
Okay.
at some point.
Yep.
We gotta figure out what the Morse code is. And then we gotta solve the whole thing. That's me live talking to Tom and I to give us notes for later. It's like, note to self, do these things.
I think he's watching this episode on 3x speed right now, and just, like, got to the part where we name dropped, and he's like, oh no, but, like, in British.
Oh no.
There it is. Hey, gelatin molds might not taste good, but you know what does taste good? Era. It's amazing. This whole time, I feel so hydrated. Look, I got through almost the entire bottle in like literally less than an hour.
You look glowing. You look so hydrated.
I know. This is my glow up. Now that I'm done with the streaming awards, my focus is on my own personal health.
Good.
As I sit next to the big pile of fast food that I eat for lunch. Don't judge me for that. Judge me for my liquid intake. Have you tried peach tea?
I haven't yet.
It's good. It's very good. So anyway, thank you again, Era, for sponsoring today's episode, and thank you again for joining me as we slowly make our way around this website and try to piece together the codes and clues.
Okay, no, that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Go check out the actual website, clownillustration.com, or if you just type in Welcome Home website.
Not sure why I picked a giant crab, but I did.
There's so much in here. There is so much. And there was a lot already in it, but now that we're coming back into this update, after it's been offline for a couple months, there's so much in here. I feel like between this last theory, this new one that we're kind of like crafting here live, and then I'm sure there's even more in it. There's a lot packed in here. And that's without us even getting into the like there's one of those missing letters or whatever that led to the bug page or whatever. But it's one of those things where there's so much crammed in here, there's so much work, it's such an incredible world, the story is really awesome. So go seek it out. Go over to the Game Theory subreddit if you find anything interesting. Send it our way, because this is one that I am very active in the middle of looking into, and I have no doubt it's just going to continue to expand and grow and evolve as this goes on. The amount of work that has gone into this, the voice acting solid, there's so much material in here, it is just tremendous. So if we're going to crack this, we got to work together. So I expect to see you over on the Game Theater subreddit. Thank you for checking it out. Thank you to Hera for sponsoring my hydration. And thank you to Ash for helping to move us into our new space.
Thumbs up.
Got it. And shout out to Rachel, too, who also did a lot of work.
Thanks, Rachel.
Woo! Rachel! She can't hear. She's in the basement. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Remember, that wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. See ya!
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about that light. Not sure what, but something. Is my connection down? Oh, seriously, is my connection down? What the hell is up with this? Play.
The year is 1924. In a fog-draped gorge near the foothills of Mount St. Helens, a group of gold prospectors encounter a pack of ape men near their remote cabin. Fearing for their lives, one of the group, Fred Beck, fires his rifle at the beasts, wounding one and scaring them off. Later that night, the prospectors wake to their cabin under attack. Having returned under cover of darkness, the beasts hurled stones and pounded on the walls for hours, finally retreating after sunrise. The terrified prospectors fled back to their Oregon town and told their tale to all who would hear it, earning the remote spot the name Ape Canyon after the incident. This was not the first story of an encounter with massive bipedal, hairy ape-like beasts in North America. Other stories go back centuries across the continent. But why does the legend of this cryptid endure? And what can Sasquatch teach us about the anxieties we may have about the wild world around us and our place in it? I'm Dr. Emily Zarka, and this is Monstrum. Sasquatch is often described as a large bipedal primate or dark hair-covered humanoid varying in height from 6 to 15 feet, with broad, muscular shoulders, little or no neck, and long ape-like arms. Many sightings report that the creature appears more human than beast, while others report glowing eyes or a salivating, bloodthirsty maw. Our modern cultural consciousness positions this mysterious creature solidly in the 20th century, placed there by the mass media, who often fail to report that this monster origin stories go back hundreds, if not thousands of years, and predate European colonization of the New World. The Chehalis people are a First Nations community located in the Fraser Valley of British Columbia, Canada. They tell of a shape-shifting forest protector known as Saskats. Sasquatch is an anglicized version of Saskats, which translates roughly to hairy man in the Hokomalan language. The Chehalis people revere Saskats as a wild and elusive guardian of the wilderness, who possesses supernatural abilities to protect and guide those who respect and honor their natural environment. In their culture, Saskats is the very embodiment of the benevolent spirit of the forest. A little over 1,000 miles to the south, at the Tule River Indian Reservation in California, ancient rock paintings or pictographs depict a small group of Sasquatch known as the Family. It is believed to be one of the earliest recorded appearances of the monster. The largest creature in the pictograph is thought to represent a paternal figure and is accompanied by a mother and child. Like Saskats, this hairy man figure embodies traditional human characteristics like bipedal walking, humanoid physiology, and community building, while also evoking the more elusive wildness of nature. In some legends, they even had a hand in humanity's creation. But not all origin stories from North American indigenous folklore depict Sasquatch as a benevolent guardian. Some feature the being as a darker, lurking, malevolent force. The Lummi people of coastal Washington state tell of massive bipedal stalkers with furry white faces who carry misbehaving children off into the night. Several Iroquoian and Algonquian language peoples share stories of cannibalistic humanoid giants known as stone giants, stone men, or the stone clad. Depending on the story, these forest dwellers cover themselves with stones or rub sand on their bodies to callous their skin. In other traditions, they were born with impervious skin, while still others say their fur is so matted it serves as pseudo-armor. All of these conditions make stone giants resistant to human weapons. Some of the most aggressive versions of these monsters have a particularly grisly penchant for twisting the heads off their human prey. And legends of bipedal beasts persist for centuries, even after European colonialism arrives in the Americas. 16th century Spanish explorers and Mexican settlers told of creatures called Los Vigilantes Oscuros, or Dark Watchers, tall, shadowy beings that appear on the peaks of California's Santa Lucia Mountains during twilight, watching over the land and its inhabitants. The lore of the Watchers even made its way into a 1938 short story by John Steinbeck called Flight, which describes the monsters as menacing but relatively harmless figures who wouldn't bother a visitor of the forest if they stayed on the trail and minded their own business. In 1847, Irish-Canadian adventurer and artist Paul Kane recounted stories told to him by the Chinook people about skookums, wild men who lived on the peaks of Mount St. Helens and engaged in cannibalism. Kane offered cash rewards for anyone who could take him on a journey to find the fabled skookums, but no such trip ever took place, and the stories remained legend.
What do you think?
And perhaps the most infamous account came from none other than former President Teddy Roosevelt. In his 1893 book, The Wilderness Hunter, Roosevelt details a story told to him by a grizzled old mountain man named Bauman. Bauman fearfully recounts his personal experience with a foul-smelling bipedal creature that ransacked his trapping camp, left large prints, stalked him, and ultimately killed one of his men by snapping his neck. While neither Roosevelt nor Bauman named the creature, these descriptions have become hallmarks of Sasquatch lore, namely the foul smell and oversized footprints. This brings us to the 20th century. After the Ape Canyon incident of 1924, the next couple of decades were relatively quiet in terms of Sasquatch lore, but advancements in media starting in the mid-20th century allowed for broader dissemination of mysterious monster sightings. The 1948 introduction of the Polaroid instant camera, alongside the development of color broadcast television and the growing presence of TV sets in the American household, made it easier to feed a growing appetite for tabloid tales. Like when in 1958, a Bluff Creek, California logger named Jerry Crew discovered a series of oversized human-like footprints near a bulldozer on his job site. The 16 inches long footprints frightened and intrigued Crew and his fellow loggers. When he returned to town, he brought his story to Andrew Genzoli, a reporter for the Humboldt Times newspaper. Genzoli interviewed the loggers and published an article about the event complete with a photo of Crew holding a cast of one of the footprints. It was in this article that our monster earned its new name, Bigfoot. When given an English language-based name that was both simple and evocative, the monster became a national sensation. Under the new moniker, older alleged sightings, including the 1924 Ape Canyon incident, became widely known, and new encounters were reported via the emerging mass media network of American TV, newspapers, and radio. Less than 10 years later, in 1967, another new technology, home movie cameras, gave rise to the most famous piece of documented Bigfoot lore that exists to date, the one virtually everyone has seen or seen spoofed, the Patterson-Gimlin film. Shot on October 20, 1967 in Bluff Creek, California, by two friends and Bigfoot enthusiasts, the film clip captures what appears to be a large bipedal creature trudging along a wooded hillside in broad daylight for almost a minute. To this day, it remains the most iconic and controversial piece of evidence of the existence of Sasquatch. It doesn't take a film forensics expert to see that the Patterson-Gimlin film could easily be replicated by any small group of people with a camera and a bit of costuming know-how. While there have been confessions, and recently even AI evidence, that the footage does not depict a mysterious monster, for many it still stands as evidence of Bigfoot's existence. Some other familiar sightings have been much more reliably debunked. In 1982, a retired logger in his 80s, Rant Mullins, admitted to having tormented a small group of gold prospectors in Ape Canyon when he was a young man. He said that he and his uncle had thrown stones at their cabin from a rocky overlook in a playful attempt to scare them. Then later, having heard that the prospector's tale about fearsome ape men made national news, Mullins claims to have perpetrated several other Sasquatch hoaxes in the region in the years that followed. In 2002, the family of Ray Wallace, a deceased co-worker of our footprint-finding logger friend Jerry Crew, revealed that they had found a collection of large, carved wooden feet stored in his basement, which Wallace had purportedly used to make the infamous footprints in Bluff Creek back in 1958, meaning even the origins of Bigfoot's name was the result of a well-perpetrated hoax. And yet, despite all the evidence against its existence, Sasquatch remains firmly fixed in our cultural psyche to this day. Why? And why does it seem that the public perception of the monster has shifted over time, from friendly to fearsome and back to friendly again. Many films portray Sasquatch as a fearsome monster, like The Legend of Boggy Creek, the much maligned Cry Wilderness, and the properly terrifying 2013 indie horror Willow Creek. And the image of Sasquatch as a terror has inspired some gripping novels as well, like Devolution by Max Brooks and Roanoke Ridge by J.J. Dupuy. But the version of Sasquatch many are most familiar with today is much more benign and friendly. It's one that we see as a mascot for sports teams, or as a spokesperson for snack foods, or deer, or a playful character appearing in video games. We might owe this return to a somewhat softer image of Sasquatch to the 1987 film Harry and the Hendersons, which imagined the monster as a benevolent and lovable creature of the woods whose existence is threatened by human encroachment. This iteration of Sasquatch coincides with growing public concerns about environmental issues in the 1980s. The film's protagonist is a reluctant hunter who falls in love with the titular monster after hitting him with a family station wagon on a weekend excursion. He and his family fight against malevolent outside forces hunting the beast, and are the only ones who recognize Bigfoot as a precious and vulnerable entity. Much like our natural environment and wilderness spaces, who need saving? In a way, the lore of Sasquatch has come full circle, as our modern perceptions of the monster are an embodiment of respect for our mysterious natural surroundings, much like the earliest lore of Sasquatch in the indigenous cultures of North America. Debunked sightings, hoaxes, and an often cartoonish representation in pop culture, and yet the legend of Sasquatch still has fervent believers. Why is that? Ecologist Robert Pyle contends that there seems to be a general human need to create folklore about larger-than-life creatures, with names usually translating to something along the lines of wild man or hairy man. He writes that these mythical creatures represent a symbolic link to the untamed wilderness that surrounds us, a connection to our world that modern society has largely lost. It also wasn't so long ago that our ancestors were evolved to walk upright. Using folklore, particularly monsters, becomes a way to outsource or displace our primal fears of the unknown world, our unknown past, and our unknown future. We are scared of these creatures that are not human but act human, and look more like us and our ancestors than we may want to admit. Perhaps it is no coincidence that the ancient lore of Sasquatch evolved and endured right alongside the last century and a half of North American industrialization and modernization. From our fears of the unknown American frontier to our modern anxieties about humanity's effects on our fragile environment. Whether Sasquatch is a malevolent monster or a misunderstood beast just trying to protect his realm, one thing seems clear. The lore is likely to be around for a long time to come, reminding us to keep an eye on the big footprints that we leave behind as we move through this world. Before you go, I want to talk about death. No, not monstrous death, but death. Or rather, I want to tell you about a new series on PBS Voices called Dead and Buried. It's a show that explores cultural perspectives and taboos surrounding death, and invites you to reconsider how you think about the inevitable. We've got a link down below. Tell them Monstrum sent ya. In the Halquel-Mayalum language. Halquel-Mayalum. Should we do that again? I think we should do that again for posterity. Halquel-Mayalum.
I need to stretch this brain of mine. I need more. That was not a shine.
Treat yourself to fall with Tim's Pot or Ice Pumpkin Spice Lattes, crafted just for you.
Humans have domesticated animals as beasts of burden for thousands of years, and the vital role horses play in the evolution of culture in particular has inspired countless equine folklore, but none are quite like the centaur. With the lower body of a horse and upper body of a human, they maybe should be dismissed as a completely impractical creature. But even with dubious origins, history has embraced the lore of the centaur. I'm Dr. Emily Zarka, and this is Monstrum. A centaur is always upper half human and mostly always lower half male horse. The centaurs of antiquity were not known to be docile, quite the opposite. They were violent, meat-eating, predatory creatures that hunted and terrorized humans. In lore, the human half of the centaur often represents civility, while the horse half is bestiality and uncontrolled. uncontrollable desire. Depictions of centaurs trace the monster back as far as the Babylonian period in the 16th century BCE, to when the Kassites entered the Fertile Crescent on horseback and seized control of southern Mesopotamia. They used carved boundary stones called kuduru to indicate land transactions. Some of these artifacts depict centaurs, a human man attached at the torso to the body and legs of a winged horse. In examples produced between 1186 to 1172 BCE, near what is now Iraq, the centaurs are depicted hunting with bows and weapons, and likely served as symbols of protection or warning. Kassite influence likely extended to the Aegean civilizations, including the Mycenaean Greeks. While it is unknown exactly when their cultures interacted, many scholars believe that the two influenced one another, and they may have introduced the idea of the centaur to Greece, where it really took hold in folklore and culture. The centaur began to appear in Greek art beginning in the 10th century BCE. The Lefkandi centaur is believed to be the oldest such example. While all four legs of the centaur appear to be hooved, bronze and terracotta artifacts from 6th and 8th century BCE show the centaur with the full legged body of a man, with the rear end of a horse seemingly grafted onto the back. Around the 8th century BCE, two centaur origin stories dominate Greek texts: the benevolent demigod Hieron, the immortal instructor, and the vicious race of centaurs. Hieron is the half-horse, half-human son of a nymph named Philyra and the Greek god of time, Kronos. Versions differ on who exactly is genetically responsible for Hieron's horse half. In some versions, Philyra desperately shapeshifts into a mare to avoid Kronos' unwanted advances, only to have him take the form of a stallion and attack her anyway. In the other version, the two are happily engaged in an affair until they are caught in the act by Kronos' wife, Rhea. To avoid being caught, the god of time quickly shifted into a horse to avoid his wife identifying him. Philyra is horrified when she births a half-horse baby and abandons him. Apollo and Artemis take the child in, and under their divine instruction, the Chimera demigod becomes a notable healer, astrologer, hunter, and prophet. He marries a nymph, and they have multiple children. He also becomes a teacher to infamous heroes Perseus, Achilles, and Heracles. In the early 5th century, ancient Greek poet Pindar gives us the second canonical centaur origin story, that of Ixion and the race of centaurs who are far less noble. These creatures are the grandchildren of Ixion, king of the Lapiths, and Nephili, who's basically a cloud made into a beautiful woman. After Ixion assaults Nephili, she gives birth to a unique son. Depending on the story, this is either the first horse-human hybrid, a true monster, or a human man named Centauros, who would eventually mate with multiple Magnesian mares, unions that all resulted in herds of hybrid children. Either way, it's a dark story. The race of centaurs are often portrayed as lust-filled, drunk, dangerous beings. Sexual assault and violence underscore almost all encounters. And that's before we get into the Centauromachy, or what I like to call the Bloody Wedding. The Centauromachy is a key part of Greek mythology, an epic battle between the centaurs and the Lapiths, an Aeolian tribe, that began when the hybrid race got really drunk and tried to rape all the women at the wedding, including the bride. For the Greeks, the centaur race was a representation of dangerous hypermasculinity. They can't hold their liquor, and they're physically and sexually violent. Homer refers to the race of centaurs as mountain-bred animals. For the ancient Greeks, the mountains were synonymous with danger, directly opposing the groomed, fertile plains associated with civilization. The connection between centaurs and sexuality, particularly sex outside of the marital union, marks them as ready metaphors condemning such practices in the real world, given that they are also associated with negative animality. Just look at the centaur's forefather Ixion. He gets out of paying a dowry by killing his father-in-law, tries to seduce Zeus's sister/wife, and gets with a cloud. Not exactly a pillar of the community. And he ends up pinned to a flaming wheel for all eternity. The entire history of the centaurs, from their very creation, is marked with negativity. According to Greek lore, all the centaurs were slaughtered by Heracles after a centaur named Nessos tried to steal Heracles' bride. Hieron tries to intervene, but is grazed by a poisoned arrow. Unable to die, but in great pain, he exchanges his immortality for Prometheus' freedom. Upon his death, he is placed in the stars as the constellation Centauros, or Sagittarius. Chiron is the only exception to Centaur's representation of the supposedly uncivilized other, and the Greeks' attempts to demonize cultures they found barbaric, unpredictable on the fringes of society and more animal than human, they provide a ready scapegoat, one that unfortunately would be applied to real people. Ancient Greek and Roman art suggests that the centaurs were metaphorical, exaggerated representations of the Persians, replacing real outsiders with monstrous fictional outsiders. It has also been argued that the Centauromachi may be a fictional representation of the real conflict between the Argive and Theban people before 1200 BCE. Hailing from the Argos region, the Argives were famous for their horses and agriculture. The aptly named city of Thebes was an influential hub of trade. The Parthenon in Greece includes the Centauromachi in its architecture, the marble sculptures depicting the monsters as muscular, threatening opponents to the humans, rearing triumphantly over their kills. The temple of Apollo Epikourios is also adorned with images from the Centauromachi, but the centaurs' human heads are older, bearded men, and the assaults are more section graphic. In all these hard-won centaur-human battles, the Greek male citizen triumphed, emphasizing their importance and visibility in Greek culture. During and after the real Persian Wars, the creation of the city-state or polis bound Greeks together with a centralized democratic government and a shared language. Social hierarchy within the polis was determined by birth and gender. At the top, free adult men born legitimately to citizen parents, aka the heroes of the centaur stories. Below them, foreigners and foreign residents, aka the centaurs. In an effort to establish legitimate citizenship for Greek heirs, Greek men were to marry virgin Greek women. Foreigners, depicted as centaurs, threatened Greek citizenship and government with their sexual lasciviousness. There is some argument to be made about the novelty of the rider on horseback, when such mounts were first encountered by cultures whose ecosystems did not naturally include horses. Whether seen first in war, trade, or conquest, the shock of seeing a human on horseback may have given some inspiration for the centaur. To that point, some scholars argue that the centaur myth may be based on the first mountain riders in the Thessaly region, pre-Trojan War tribes believed to be named Centaur and Lapith. The centaur people, according to Greek author Paleophatus, hailed from a village named Nephilim. During Ixion's reign as king, a herd of wild bulls terrorized the region, and inhabitants of Nephilim were the only ones daring enough to ride horses into the herd of bulls, slaying them with javelins. After they were rewarded by the king, they turned hostile toward the townspeople of Larissa, called Latins, kidnapping women and burning homes before retreating to the mountains. But Paleophatus is known for trying to rationalize myths, so who really knows? Other attempts to bring the centaur to reality include pre-Socratic Greek philosopher Empedocles, who proposed a theory of human evolution that included the centaurs as part of ancient generations of animals that existed before species differentiation. There were also reports of real centaurs. In the early 1st century CE, Roman Emperor Claudius received word that a centaur had been found. Reportedly captured in Arabia and transported to Egypt as a gift for the emperor, it was said that the meat-eating creature did not survive the changing climate. After its death, it was embalmed and sent to Rome. Emperor Claudius displayed the embalmed centaur with a face fiercer than a human face, hairy arms and hands, and a tawny mane at his palace. While this story seems like fiction, there is a bit of fact, or rather, trickery. The supposed centaur submerged in honey was likely made from the mummified remains of humans and horses. The honey not only preserved the corpse, but would have been difficult to look through. A blurry centaur is more easily believed. The creature was still on view nearly a century later. You would think such hoaxes would have faded with the development of biological studies, but in the 1980s, a supposed centaur skeleton was exhibited in the US. Created by zoologist William Willers as a social experiment, the remains now reside in the John C. Hodges Library at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville as an art installation. Beginning in the 6th century CE, centaurs and satyrs became increasingly conflated, with the former disappearing from the retelling of myths even though their image remained in art. It seems the centaurs were too supernatural, too uncivilized. However, in the Middle Ages, centaurs began reappearing in Christian churches. Associated with bestial desires or even the devil on the hunt for souls, they retained the negative associations of the past. Centaurs would go on to appear in Dante's Divine Comedy as the inhabitants of the first ring of the seventh circle of hell. You know, the one with the river of blood. They stand on the banks as jailers of the souls boiling in the river, shooting arrows at any who try to escape. Centaurs increasingly moved from presumed fact to fiction. By the 19th century, interpretations of the centaur focused on their connection to nature, with the creatures personifying tornadoes or mountain streams. Centaurs today occupy the fantasy genre, appearing in books and movies as dangerous but fantastic creatures. Given the genre's mass appeal and often younger target demographic, the brutal violence, particularly sexual violence, is mostly downplayed in favor of more culturally digestible pieces of the monster's ancient origins. In C.S. Lewis's Chronicles of Narnia, they are strong, noble, bearded warriors who fight for good along Aslan. While physically imposing, Lewis makes sure centaur characters are positioned as educated, civilized allies who excel in medicine and reading the stars. In J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, centaurs are likewise intelligent healers and quite skilled at archery, astronomy, and divination. Almost all choose to remain apart from humans, seeing them as unworthy of attention since they have already read their fates in the stars. Even though Rowling's interpretation attempts to make the creatures respectable, they are also portrayed as wild and uncivilized, which takes a disturbing turn when temporary Hogwarts headmistress Dolores Umbridge is carried off by centaurs into the woods and returns incapable of speaking, with bits of twigs and leaves in her disheveled hair. Rowling's centaurs seem to retain as much of Ixion as they do of Hero.
Sorry, I must not tell lies.
In Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson series, the original Huron of Greek myth teaches the heroes of the story.
Right, what do you think?
Choosing to hide the lower half of his body with a blanket and a wheeled box with fake human legs, in the books at least. The centaur race also appears, described as talented warriors and big partiers. While threads of the original centaurs linger, today the centaur is more commonly used as a symbol that unites rather than divides humans and animals. Because the centaur is made from two beings that really exist, not entirely fictional beasts, they are more easily transmissible and translatable across time. Positive or negative, they force us to confront our relationship with
So I got 1, 2, 3. That's not bad. I just need to put the frames back together. Alright, thanks for stopping by. I'll see you in the next one.